Coming up on Mountain News this morning, an Eastern Kentucky man is accused of killing his own wife after they just got married last month. And pharmacies see an increased demand for a drug meant to help treat diabetes as people seek to use it for weight loss.
Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News this morning.
Good morning, 6:30 here on your Tuesday morning. I'm Dakota Makris. Thank you so much for waking up with us on this rainy Tuesday, unfortunately. And speaking of rain, let's head over to Brandon, the man who forecasted the rain coming into our region this morning. And if you may need some coffee or something to wake you up just a little bit more this morning. That's your caffeinated water.
Yes, it is.
That's your caffeinated. He had those little, like, what are they, Mio's pods or something? Yeah. It's actually really good. I need to start drinking that more.
Got some good flavors to
it. Does, yeah.
But yeah, so no, that's my go juice this morning, trying to get woke up here. It's just a groggy day. If you're having trouble getting started, get you a cup of coffee, get you some caffeinated water, get you some pop, something to get you going, because this rain is dreary. Let's take a look at it on live pinpoint Doppler radar as you start your day, and you'll see a heavier band back out toward Pulaski County. Let's take a little closer look at that one right fast before we move on, but most of it moving into parts of Mingo and Logan counties and out of southwest Virginia. One little lone shower near Shopville there between Science Hill and Shopville this morning, heading back over toward the Rockcastle County line. So again, just be aware that that could be an issue for some folks this morning. Pikeville had some pretty good rain there for a little bit, not slowing too much traffic down there. US 119, US 23 intersection near Pikeville Commons. 47 over there, 30s, 40s, and 50s across the board. Irvin down 1 degree to 52, so Monticello now the warm spot at 52. Grundy and Jonesville both up to 39. I told you those temperatures were slowly going up this morning. It's just taking them a little while to get there. Breakfast forecast as you head out the door, we're going to be seeing temperatures basically in the upper 40s, close to 50. Rain chances will continue for a little while longer before they start to taper off to cloudy skies a little bit later on this morning. Dakota?
All right, Brendan, thank you. Well, just last month, a Breathitt County couple tied the knot, but on Sunday, the husband was arrested on murder charges in relation to the death of his new wife. Our Alyssa Williams talked with police and the victim's family to learn more about how this all unfolded.
On Saturday morning, 62-year-old Barry Johnson of Breathitt County called police saying that his wife, 39-year-old Tammy Thorpe, had fatally shot herself. But once officers were on the scene, they say they knew that was not the case.
And I discussed it with my deputy when he got there, and we both agreed that just something had been tampered with, and that's how it fanned out.
Law enforcement did not get to question Johnson again until Sunday, when he reportedly confessed to shooting Thorpe while she was sleeping.
He wasn't even crying or nothing. It was like he was happy or something.
Breathitt County Sheriff John Holland says law enforcement has been called to Johnson's home before due to domestic violence claims, although no charges were filed.
The last year or two, maybe we'd been there on a domestic issue with maybe a prior wife or girlfriend, one of the best I can remember.
Now Johnson is being charged with murder, tampering with evidence, falsely reporting an incident, and wanton endangerment because a small child was in the room when the shooting took place.
Well, Mr. Johnson was lodged in the Kentucky River jail yesterday, and his bond is set at $1 million, and I'm sure he'll be arraigned here shortly, within the next week or so.
Thorpe's family says she was truly a light in their lives, who loved her family more than anything.
We are not going to quit. We will be at every court hearing. We will do everything we can to advocate for Tammy. She is going to get justice.
In Breathitt County, Alyssa Williams, WYMT Mountain News.
Well, Breathitt County Sheriff John Holland says although police cannot reveal Johnson's motive, he says more things will come to light as this case moves toward trial. Well, we're working to learn more information about a crash in eastern Kentucky that shut down part of an interstate. Transportation officials say a crash shut down I64 West in Rowland County for several hours. You're looking at a picture of the backup near the Sharkey Farmers exit. Kentucky State Police say it was a rollover crash with only one car involved. The driver had minor injuries. The road has since reopened. Crews in Laurel County received a call this past weekend that ended with a hiker being rescued and then flown out. Just before 11 a.m. Sunday, the London Laurel Rescue Squad was called to the Falls City Road area after getting a report that a 65-year-old woman had fallen on some ice in a creek. When crews arrived, they found the woman and figured out she had possibly broken a bone. Well, she was brought out of the woods and then taken to a hospital by helicopter for injuries. We do not know her identity or current condition. A West Virginia woman says she lost 60 pounds by switching to a plant-based diet. Brenda Workman made the switch more than 2 years ago. She decided to make the change because her health went, quote, bad. She had high cholesterol and high blood pressure. She says meat products are high in saturated fat and cause inflammation. And for her, it caused joint issues.
I think anytime we can especially get fresh fruit and fresh veggies in our body, even whole grains, legumes, beans, lentils, those kind of things. And there's all kinds of recipes that you can make that are delicious. And this food is so satisfying.
Brenda says thanks to the plant-based diet, she is off of her high cholesterol and blood pressure medicines. Well, demand for a diabetes drug is increasing, but the reason for that demand is being called into question. The drug semaglutide was initially marketed under the name brand Ozempic to manage type 2 diabetes, but last year it was approved by the FDA to be used for weight loss under the name Wegovy. But now the drug manufacturer is struggling to meet demand, which doctors say is creating a problem for type 2 diabetes patients.
Our patients with diabetes are struggling just to get their medications to control their blood sugars. And so we're having to substitute other medications, increase their insulin requirements. People are gaining weight back, from not being on these medications. And so it really is becoming a problem for our patients that are dealing with type 2 diabetes. But then again, our nation is, there's an epidemic of obesity as well, and we need to treat the obesity to prevent the diabetes in the first place.
The CDC reports more than 37 million Americans have diabetes. 90 to 95% of them have type 2. Walgreens says it no longer is limiting online sales of children's fever medicine. Some pharmacies restricted such purchases last month when RSV and flu cases surged. Well, the CDC says flu and RSV have peaked, but other respiratory viruses remain high or very high in about half of the states in the U.S. Well, a global study shows women who contract COVID-19 during pregnancy are more at risk of developing health complications than pregnant women who are women not infected with the virus. The study analyzed data from a dozen countries, including the United States. But the research was done early in the pandemic before most people were vaccinated or infected. The study found pregnant women who had COVID-19 were nearly 4 times more likely to get admitted to an intense care unit, more than 15 times more likely to need ventilation, 7 times more likely to die, and at a higher risk of developing high blood pressure, serious blood clots, and hypertension. Well, the Academy of Sleep Medicine reports almost half of Americans let their pets sleep in their beds. Researchers give it a mixed review in terms of how it affects sleep quality. Susan Elizabeth Littlefield got a veterinarian's opinion.
Many agree having a pet at our side makes our days better, and for some, the nights too.
Where does Olive sleep?
In bed with us every night. Honestly, on top of me.
Where does Archie sleep?
Archie sleeps in bed with my husband and me.
My husband would disagree. He would prefer to sleep with just us, but she's such a good snuggler.
I feel definitely more comfortable when he's there.
So does Dr. Lindsay Merkel at the University of Minnesota Vet School.
So how many dogs sleep in your bed?
In our bed, 4 Chihuahuas and 1 miniature dachshund.
So 5 dogs in one bed.
5 dogs with two humans. Yeah, my husband and I.
So you may not be surprised to hear her answer to our question.
Should we let our dogs sleep with us?
Given everything that we understand about the benefits that we can gain from having animals in our bed sleeping with us, I think yes, having them sleep with us is a great idea.
So it can calm us, both of us, when we sleep together.
Yeah, it seems to bring out the beneficial hormones that we need for stress relief and, you know, feeling good about ourselves, the dopamine and the oxytocin.
The Mayo Clinic did some research too. A sleep study tracked dogs sleeping in the bedroom and their humans. The study says having the dog in the bed can disrupt sleep, but having the dog on the floor by the bed does not. But as long as you don't have allergies and they don't have parasites, Dr. Merkel says it's okay to go all in.
It seems like the proof is that having them in your bed is actually beneficial for both of you.
I think a lot of our viewers are going to love it.
Exactly, I'm sure they are.
It's supposed to just be soothing for anxiety.
I didn't know that.
So you're not doing a bad thing.
No.
It's calming, there's dopamine.
I'm actually going to have to share that fact with my husband.
CRG, we were right all along.
Now I have an actual fact to convince him that we're doing the right thing.
We're being healthy for each other.
Yep. So snuggle in and don't look back.
Well, Dr. Merkel says cats are okay too, but many of them seem less interested in co-sleeping. I don't agree with that because Winona sleeps right next to me each night. So.
6:41, and oh man, there's so many things I could say about that last story, but Linus is hit or miss. I will say that. He either gets me up early or he lets me sleep all the way to my alarm, but he's just hit or miss. All right, anyway, looking at live pinpoint Doppler radar this morning, we are looking at the heaviest bands of rain now pushing into parts of southern West Virginia, back over into Mingo and Logan counties there along Highway 52. So we're going to continue to watch that trend coming out of Pike County this morning, going out of Buchanan County, Virginia this morning. So again, some good news on the rain front. We're still seeing those temperatures there in the upper 30s to the low 50s as you head out the door this morning. So we'll continue to watch that. The out the door forecast does feature rain chances for a little while, then skies turn cloudy, and then they should clear out by this afternoon as we approach the 60-degree mark a little bit later today. Dakota?
All righty, Brendan, thank you so much. At 6:42, still to come here on Mountain News this morning. More searches could be ahead for classified documents at locations connected to President Joe Biden. Stay with us. That's coming up next.
Stop.